innovaphone version 16 Launch Webinar. My name is Tobias. I'm heading the sales activities here at innovaphone for the Benelux countries. And I would like to personally thank all of you of the English-speaking innovaphone community to take time out of your busy day to join us today for our webinar. During the next 60 minutes, we will hopefully be able to introduce you with our key improvements across all areas of the latest version 16, major new features and functionalities, and also hopefully motivate and help you to deploy these latest developments at your customers and ensure that you continue to be successful in the future with us in the market. Next to this, I would also like to welcome and introduce Johannes Nowak, our Head of Business Development International here at innovaphone, who I'm very glad that he is joining me today to support me and us during our webinar. And also, I would like to shout out or give a shout out to Carl, who is working actively in the background to enable you to ask questions during the webinar. If you do have any questions regarding any of the slides or things that we discuss and introduce to you, please don't hesitate to write your questions into the chat. Carl is more than happy and willing to answer your questions throughout the next 60 minutes. Okay, let's have a look at the first slide. Better than ever. As I have previously just mentioned, today we want to give you a introduction into our new features and functionalities, but not only into various features and functionalities, but also want to talk about our drastically enhanced usability. We also want to have a look at our latest new applications that we have added to our portfolio. We want to speak about the optimized performance on our platform. We want to also discuss the deepened integration throughout various apps on our platform, and also our further strengthened security aspects that go along. And last but not least, of course, we want to show you some of the latest hardware highlights of version 16 and talk about a little bit what you get for a super competitive pricing model that we have here at innovaphone. Last but not least, for those of you who don't know us, I want to mention that innovaphone is, of course, a European company. All these developments and highlights, as well as the hardware, is being made or manufactured in Europe. And I think Europe is the buzzword that brings me to Johannes and your next slide. So maybe you can take over, Johannes, and talk a little bit more about the European aspect of us.
Thank you, Toby, for the introduction, and warm welcome from my side as well. So the first slide I would like to bring up here, and I want to talk about, Toby just teased a little bit about the European approach of innovaphone, is less about new features and news about the release 16, but about our positioning in the current world situation. So I think you all are aware that the world is currently changing rapidly. So we have a lot of changes, geopolitical changes, challenges on the global economic situation. We are facing increasing number of cyber attacks and even physical attacks on data centers. We are facing a lot of discussions with our partners and customers about backdoors, kill switches, about regulations like the Cloud Act. And in this situation, as Toby already pointed out, innovaphone is really standing out of the number of vendors, as we are really developing all our products in Europe. We are even manufacturing our hardware within Europe. We have our core system, our communication system, running on our own operating system. We are not depending on any American hyperscalers or or other operating systems from this market. So from that perspective, also with our approach that you still can run our system on-premise, on our appliances, within your data centers where you have everything under control, we provide a solution where you can create a solution based on European data sovereignty aspects, privacy standards. We have all the seals and certificates from ISO, for example, that proves that we follow all the European rules. So from that perspective, if you want to get in control of your data and want to be sovereign with your data, so innovaphone is a good choice. But that's not all. So another thing, what we are different than others is that we are not increasing our prices just because everyone is nowadays used to increase prices every year in a regular manner. So if you will take a look at our new price list coming up in April, you will see that we do slight increases of pricing, but only very few items will be increased. On the other hand, we will put more and more features into our products on the same price level so that you will really benefit from added value to our products. And last but not least, you can still have the choice between the CapEx model and the OpEx model, so that you can still decide that you buy our product, so that you have also the full control about the cost for the future if you decide for innovaphone as a vendor. So finally, if you are going to look for a new solution, or if you are looking for an alternative for currently used solutions in your company, especially if it's focused on our core topic, the business telephony, the business voice communication, but also if it's about video communication, and also if it's about team collaboration with chat and channels, and also business applications on top of this, then make sure that innovaphone is on top of your list of the choice.
Johannes, instead of complimenting innovaphone and talking about our European approach, why don't we have a look at what's actually new in version 16?
Okay, so you make some pressure. So on that, I think it was still important to talk about that. But of course, yes, we want to go to the new topics in release 16. And let's start with the most important one. So the most important one is that innovaphone will now switch from UC to UC&C. Is that great?
Absolutely.
Are you sure? So I think the people will say, hey, everyone else is talking about UC&C since ages. So why is it a big thing now for innovaphone to move from UC to UC&C? So here's the answer. So most of our competitors have just added a little feature like video conferencing or something, just putting a label called collaboration on it and say, now we are doing UC&C. That was never enough for us. So we introduced video conferencing, we introduced our collaboration tools, but we said it's not enough for us to talk about UC&C. But now with release 16, so we were facing that we added a lot of stuff to our product. And it's not only about the team collaboration tool like the Connect app and the Chat app, of course, our communication parts like our phone apps or the conferencing, but it's also some applications every myApps user already get from scratch, like the Contacts app, like a new app we will show later, the Charts app. You can convert visits on your website to a call and to business by using our widgets. So all this together is so much more than only UC&C. So that's why you find in our invitation for this webinar, the UC&C, or you see our new logo in the middle, talking about showing the infinite symbol, so that UC is not only UCC, it is much, much more. And what it is really about, I think you will go deeper into detail.
Absolutely. Thank you, Johannes. And as Johannes mentioned already, we have specifically for you created a UCC bundle. And why have we created such a bundle, or why do we think it's time to get started with such a UCC bundle? It's because we believe with all the latest features and the integration of the UC&C innovaphone world. It's now time for you to reap all the benefits by adding value while reducing complexity when offering such UC&C bundles. Next to that, with Connect, our Connect app, being the center of collaboration, your customers now will be able to take full advantage of our AI-enabled environment, and all of that for super competitive pricing by having pre-selected features.
Pre-selected features. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look what actually is included in our UC&C bundle. And maybe also for those of you who have been with us for quite some time, compared to our former UC environment. As you can see here, obviously, we have integrated the Chat Premium application into our UC&C bundle. The Connect app as the hub or the anchor of our whole UC&C world is for the first time also completely included in the bundle. We have the Documents app. We have our conferencing app with a bunch of new features and functionalities that we will also talk about later on during this presentation. And last but not least, it's been a big topic in the past, and also I believe it's going to be a big topic in the future, AI, our innovaphone AI assistant, and all other kind of NI enabled features and functionalities that are fully integrated in our UC&C world. And we have at the very first slide talked about competitive pricing, and also what we want to stress and emphasize is with that UC&C bundle that you get so much more and so many more additional apps for your money that if you look at the pricing, it's almost ridiculous to see that you get all of this stuff for €3.80 in a rental environment, or €5.60 per month in a cloud environment, or as a one-time investment purchase of €84. So I think with this pricing, we're not only super competitive, but also unbelievable what's all in there and what you can do with such a low price.
And one thing what is in there, and that you already mentioned, and that's really a big step to put this also on this price point into this myApps UC&C, is Connect. And Tobias was talking about the hub of communication and the center of collaboration of Connect. And that's a little bit what we are talking about here, and we will stress this point later on more and more slides, because we have so many integrations into Connect from different points. So we have the integration, of course, from projects, our project management tool, where you can see all the communication within the project also in the Connect app. You can see notes coming from the switchboard, conference transcriptions. We will talk later about also the communication about working approval processes, the WhatsApp connector. So there are so many components within the myApps portfolio which are now connected and seamlessly integrated with Connect. Of course, the chat as a part of Connect is a big portion of it. So that Connect is not only getting more and more value, but as it is also part of myApps UC, it will be available for more and more users in the future. And then we come to also some new extension for Connect, but that we want to touch later with Documents and Pods.
Yes.
Let's talk about Connect as a product. So for all of you who have not been in touch with Connect, just give you a very short introduction what Connect is about. So Connect is a team collaboration tool, an internal social tool. It can replace internal emails completely, because it will be the hub of your information inside your company, and in the future also with your partners and customers outside of the company. But currently it's just a hub where you can store and share all your information, that you can document processes, that you can get in exchange with your colleagues within a separated zone. If it's just internal information for a group of people, like HR or management, but also fully transparent for the whole company if you want to share information about changes in the company or whatever. So it's completely flexible, transparent, and fully accessible for everyone. And to make it more valuable, we have added some more features in the latest release. And one is, I just mentioned it on the slide before, is that you now can also create polls so that you can get quick decisions on simple questions. So just where do we want to go for lunch? Where do we want to do our next team meeting? Which logo do you like better? So this kind of decision making is so much easier by creating simply a poll, by collecting the opinion of people and showing it simply as a graph. So that makes decisions more transparent and quicker and more easy. And finally, to start with Connect is, of course, a change in your company communication. So, and change management is always combined with training the people and letting them know how to work with these products. And to make that easier and to reduce the onboarding time and reduce training costs, we have included now an onboarding tour so that a new user of Connect will get used to the first steps in Connect and learn how to work with it easily.
Let's talk about other additional features and integrations also together with the Connect app. And there I quickly want to just go through our premium chat app. The chat app premium as itself is not new. And I don't think I have to explain to anyone what a chat app consists of or what you can do with the chat app. It's rather self-explanatory. Nevertheless, what I want to talk about is, as Johannes has also mentioned in his previous slides, is the integration together with our Connect app. And that integration and with improved also features and new functionalities will give you also the choice of how to communicate within the chat app, or based on your personal preferences on how you want to communicate. You can now also, first of all, reply directly to a message. You can forward a message, but you can also use emojis, which kind of loosens up the whole process in a business environment of how to communicate. So at the end of the day, it's your chat, your rules, everything integrated with the Connect app. And also to point out, it's your own chat that is really fully integrated with our own solution. And that makes it also so special here.
Another product which is also integrated with Connect, but is a standalone product for a business application, is our projects app. So the project app is a project management tool which is universal, usable for any kind of processes within your company, mainly recurring processes, no matter which department might use it. So you can use it for onboarding of new employees. You can use it for planning of events. But we are, for example, also using it for developing our products and processes where you have many people involved. And we have improved many things on the projects app. So one thing what is important is that the UI and the handling, especially for mobile devices like tablets and smartphones, is pretty much better now. So it's really a pleasure now to work with this application. Also, if you are on the move somewhere, just on an airport, you can just check your tasks and work on it. So that's pretty cool that you don't need to be on your PC or your workplace to work with this application. We have also included some new features so that you can define dependencies on specific tasks, so that you know if you can take care of a specific task or if you have to wait for someone else to do something before you can start. So like this presentation, for example, to be translated in another language, it has to be prepared first. So our translation teams can wait until the first presentation is done and then start the translation. So that's something you can define here. And you also can set due dates so that task automatically will be set to current if this due date is reached. And all the information within projects. If you get a new task, if someone is assigning a task to you, if a task is reaching the due date or changes its status, everything about that is also communicated via Connect as a single hub, as a central hub of communication. So you get all the information from your projects also in Connect.
And what I also like about this is the transparency that comes along with it. I have experienced that it's so easy and transparent to see maybe what other teams are working on or what the current status of projects are that maybe don't have anything to do with me, but that transparency aspect also makes it very special for me.
And talking about AI, so you have mentioned it before, we also have implemented now the translation for the tasks and the descriptions of projects within the projects app. So you can also work in international teams. Everyone can work with its own within its own language. So because the translation function we have in the Connect app is also implemented now in the projects app.
Thanks for stealing this, because that was one of my highlights I want to mention in the next slides. But sorry, go ahead with the documents.
The documents. Like the polls, also the documents is a new feature of Connect. So because one part, which is also very important in projects, but also in Connect, is that you want to store documents. So if you have a contract, if you have a description of a booth, of an event, so whatever, you want to store documents and want to get an easy management of the documents. And documents, as it is now implemented in V16, is the first step to a document management system connected with Connect projects and other applications, so that you can simply add attachments to a discussion as a document. If it is attached there, anyone else can open the document, can work on the document. So many people can work on the same document, can store the document on the same place. And you get a very good overview about all the documents related to a specific thread within your Connect. Or in project, you can see all the documents related to this project. So you always have a very great overview about the documents. They are well structured and organized, and they are easy accessible for everyone who has to work with these documents. So that's a very, very big step. And this will be enhanced in the future, but it's a very great first step to work also with documents within Connect and projects.
One of my favorite or personal highlights within the latest developments of version 16 is the connector to WhatsApp that we have to develop. Throughout the last 12, 14 months, I have been many times asked from my partners, from customers, etc., do you have some kind of WhatsApp integration? Because I guess it's more and more becoming a business relevant communication tool. And of course, we at innovaphone, as you can see, have listened not only to our customers, but also to our partners. And therefore, yes, I'm personally quite happy to be able to introduce to you today our WhatsApp connector. What does it do? How does it work?
Just a short comment, because that's, from my perspective, the most beneficial thing on how we did it, is that it's fully integrated again with myApps UC&C, because it's integrated with Connect. So usually if you talk about a WhatsApp integration, you talk about omni-channel contact center, and you need to invest a lot in a separate infrastructure. In our case, simply every user of myApps UC&C can be part of this discussion, of this communication with WhatsApp. And on the next slides, I think we're going to show how this looks like.
I was actually not done with the first slide, but sorry, thanks for stealing the argument. You can continue with the presentation if you want to. Nevertheless, absolutely, Johannes is absolutely right in what he said. And also the cool thing is, as Johannes mentioned, that you don't need an additional infrastructure, etc. But let's have a look at how this looks in a live environment, or how it can look like. You can see here on the left-hand side of your screen that a customer or a partner is contacting us via our WhatsApp channel or via using WhatsApp, asking a question, even adding a picture, trying to get help, support, or some kind of answer to his question. That communication, as Johannes mentioned, will be then also not only transferred, but integrated into our Connect app platform. And also there, you can have predefined groups or people or colleagues getting in touch with the customer by answering the questions and helping out via the Connect, again, ending up in our WhatsApp channel.
Are you done with the slides? So can I continue?
Yes,
yeah?
now
okay.
you can continue and click. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, my favorite. So if the WhatsApp connector was your favorite on Release 16, my favorite on Release 16 is the conference transcriptions. And that's because I don't like to take meeting minutes. So every time we are asking, so who will take the meeting minutes, it's just half a minute of silence. So because you don't find anyone who want to do it. So now you don't have this question anymore because it's so easy, because the conference does this transcription automatically. How does it work? So we have a connector to an AI system, and this connector is simply open. So you can decide which AI system, which AI model, which large language model, LLM, you want to connect to our feature, to our UI. And why is this important to handle it that way? Because the world is turning so quickly on the AI path. So you never know which model currently is the best for your purposes. So which model is currently the most modern or the most advanced? Which model produces which kind of costs? Because using an external model can always produce additional cost, or can even be for free. So from that perspective, it's important for us as an open solution without any vendor lock-in to say, it's your choice which model you are using, depending on cost, depending on quality, depending on where it is hosted, if it is in your data center or somewhere else. So it's your decision. You can use a model you already have in use. So it's your choice what you are using. Same is for the prompts you are using. So finally, the decision how such a summary looks like is based by the prompt. You can say, make it very short, make it a little bit longer, put the to-do list on top or put it at the end. So all this can be defined by yourself. We will deliver a template for that. So because we already played around with it in the test phase, in the beta phase, in our internal tests with this product, and I think we found now a really proper way working for us. So that could be a template for you, but you can adjust it to your needs as well. And then finally, you see the Connect logo again on this slide. The summary will be posted on Connect, or can be posted on Connect. And of course, the feature, the licensing for the feature is included in myApps UC&C. How does it look like? So if you are in a call in a soft phone, you simply press on the sidebar on the participant list. You see all the participants in the conference, and then you can activate the conference transcription. So you see this green button below, and then a new user will enter the conference. It is called conference transcription. So it is visible for everyone in the conference that now the transcription is activated. So you have the full control about it. Everyone is informed about it. And after the call, you can go to your call history and press the information button. There you get a window to select the AI summary. You can already see the summary as it is proposed, and then you can press the create meeting post button, and then the complete meeting post, including the time, duration, room name, participant list, but also the AI summary is posted in Connect, visible for everyone. So it's just 2 minutes instead of 20 minutes you take usually for such a meeting post.
And I agree with you, because I also have personally been benefiting from this great new tool. And let's be honest, sometimes we bring out really cool technical new features and functionalities, but for the, let's say, normal end user in front of the screen at first glance might not be aware of such new features, functionalities. But here you really, or at least I really personally benefited from this automated AI featured summary or protocol after meetings, because it saves a lot of time and effort. Yeah.
And I think we cannot mention it often enough. So you don't need a separate tool. You don't need to pay for a separate tool. It's just part of myApps UC&C. So I think that's really, really outstanding.
Absolutely. Yeah, Switchboard. For those of you who are not aware of our Switchboard app, what does the Switchboard app do? What can it do? The Switchboard app is basically a attendant control panel or dashboard in order to manage incoming and outgoing calls more effectively. And also here we have developed quite some new features and functionalities. I don't want to waste too much time, because we are in a time limit where we want to be within the 60-minute frame. So I'm just going to highlight some of the new features that are included in our Switchboard app. One of them being that the search functionality now is synced with the soft phone or the phone app. And also another cool feature is the new notes field for incoming and outgoing calls. And there we're coming back to the whole story of full integration together with the Connect app. Also here you can see that it's completely integrated with the Connect app, which allows you or your customers a much more efficient follow-up process. And also, of course, being able to use all the features and functionalities of the Connect app in combination with the Switchboard features, as Johannes, for example, mentioned again earlier, like the translation tool, etc. So, yes, if you don't know it, have a look at it. It's really a cool tool for any size business in the market. Yes, fix the fish, Johannes.
I just clicked.
Another app where we have dramatically enhanced certain features and functionalities is the remote control app. What does the remote control app do, or what it is for? It's basically an application that will allow you or your partners or your customers to access PCs or servers remotely, and therefore also help your customers or partners with support of any kind, way, or form. What's new in the remote app in version 16 is that we have the portable Windows client that does not need any additional installations. We also have the auto connect option, where it will allow you to remotely access a device without having physically somebody sitting in front of it by using ID codes. Also, we do have the multi-viewer support, where you can have more than one person being involved in a remote control session. And one of the best attributes is that one session is free of charge. So again, just download it, use it, and recommend it to your partners and help them by supporting them remotely.
And our support is using it. So they are working, of course, with our own applications just to connect to external PCs. So not only PCs with myApps running on. So that's really the great thing, so that it's not a myApps support thing. So you can just get control of any PC if you are allowed to by using this fantastic application. So I think that's really a great thing and great improvements for the latest release.
You don't want to know how many times Carl had to help me out using whatever is on my PC that I couldn't understand by also having that remote control app. Quite thankful for that.
connector for Microsoft 365. So to be honest, it's one of the best-selling apps we already have. In the past, just doing the presence sync between Microsoft applications, Microsoft Teams, and myApps, so that you can set a phone to busy if you are in a conference. But now we are enhancing this connector, adding new functionalities. On one part, we are forced to do so because Microsoft has again changed some of their interfaces. So for the calendar synchronization, Microsoft will cut off the support for EWS, what we have been using for the Exchange connector to get Exchange calendar synchronization. So for the future, if you want to have calendar synchronization and calendar presence synced with Exchange Online and Teams, you have to switch from the Exchange connector to the connector from Microsoft 365 to have this connector on board. And then we are using the recommended API from Microsoft, because that's the only one which is left over, the Graph API for the synchronization. And once we have touched this API, we also have added some more features. We now have also added the contact search in Azure and Exchange Online, so that you now can search for contacts on these sources via our search app, our contacts app, but also in the search field of the phone app and the soft phone app. So this best-selling or almost best-selling application is getting even better. So I guess it will be sold more in the future.
Another great new application, at least I think so, is our Charts app. Let me explain a little bit what the Chart app can do and why we have developed it. The Chart app basically uses all kind of data to help you display graphics or this data in a graphical way, whether it's a pie chart, a bar chart, a linear or area chart, analyzing certain data in order to help you to make better decisions, or in order to analyze certain aspects of the corporate world. Let me just give you some examples. For example, you can use the Charts app together with our Contact Widgets app. The Contact Widgets app in innovaphone enables our customers to integrate various contact widgets on their website. And with the Charts app, you can really analyze how many people have accessed, for example, your contact widget, how many people have tried to contact you via phone, via video, via email, which can be quite crucial for marketing teams to analyze or even to create leads out of this charts. But also from a technical aspect, I think it's quite useful because in connection, for example, with our app platform manager, it will help administrators or technical people to analyze, for example, the performance of the PBX, or to graphically display the load management stuff of a current system running, where you can then easily and hopefully early enough identify risks or analyze other potential threats by using that Charts app. And last but not least, of course, next to our own apps, due to our API, you can also use this Chart app together with other external apps. So if there are people outside who are maybe thinking about developing new apps based on our myApps platform, it's rather easy to have the Charts app included or working together with your app. So think about it. Maybe you can come up with some ideas regarding that. And again, last but not least, another cool part of it is it's completely free of charge.
The next one, very important application, is the working application. So as you all should know, so there is in European law that you are obliged to digitally document the working times of your employees. So there is no way around it. So every company has to use a time accounting system. And in the past, we have always done in the presentations, we have shown the user part of it and showing how easy it is to start and stop time accounting. So what we have done in this release is to take care very, very much about the management part of it. So adding new functionalities so that the overview about balances, about time accounts, and so on, it's much easier that you can create comments on it, that you can work with multiple time zones. So one hand, it's easy to start and stop time accounting. The other thing is to do the documentation in the right way, to set the right balances. So how working time models, break time models, because it differs from country to country. It differs from more or less department to department or person to person. And on this hand, we have had feedback from the first customers we had with a working application, and we have done a lot of enhancements on the management part of the working app. But it's not only that, we also added a new feature to the working app, and this is the leave management. So now you can not only use the working app for your daily time accounting to say, okay, I start and stop my working now and take my breaks, but you can also use it to plan your vacations, to plan parental leaves, to document sick leave times. So from that perspective, it's really extended now from a pure time tracking module also to a vacation and leave management system, including a calendar where you can have all the country-specific public holidays already included, so that the calculation of the vacation is done correctly automatically. And finally, and that's also new with this release, is that the whole approval process, including there is a new request for a vacation, and it is approved, that this communication is, of course, again, seamlessly integrated into Connect. So you don't need a specific tool. You don't need to change your tool. It's already also integrated in the communication via the Connect app.
Yes, thank you, Johannes. We have been talking a lot about business applications, collaboration, integration, the Connect app being the center of collaboration in the myApps UC&C world, etc. But we also don't want to forget about the classical telephony, because this is, at the end of the day, where we come from. And we still have a great focus on the telephony part of our solution. And also in that regard, we have made great stride and have developed various...
That was, again, too fast, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, that's fine. We'll get it down next time a little better. Joking aside. But yes, we have also in that regard developed and introduced new features and functionalities. And one of the highlights or really cool features I want to just quickly talk about is the ability to automatically reconnect calls. I believe all of us or all of you have already experienced in the past that for whatever reason, calls have been disconnected, whether you're in the car, whether you're using a hands-free device, you're on the go, even in the office, using a classical desk phone, whatsoever. Every once in a while, it happens that the call for various reasons is being disconnected, whether it is because you're changing from a 4G or 5G to a Wi-Fi environment, whether you're driving through a tunnel, whether the PC gets unplugged or you lose the internet connection, etc., etc. There are many reasons why such a disconnection can happen. A worst case scenario, even if the PBX has to restart. But nevertheless, with the latest feature, this will not be completely avoided, but it will enable you to automatically be reconnected with the other, or with the person on the other side of the line. You don't have to redial. You don't have to take your phone in your hand and look up, type in a new number whatsoever. Everything is being automated, and due to our lean infrastructure, our lean PBX environment, it's also, in case of a PBX failure, super fast, and only takes a couple seconds, and makes the way of communicating much more comfortable. I mean, personally, I also have experienced, I drive to the Benelux a lot. There's always one part of the highway in Germany where I lose connection. I have to take my phone or try to dial again, this time automatically reconnected, super comfortable, easy to use, and really a cool value add within the telephony world of our solution.
And I think we are the only one who are brave enough to say we also do it if the PBX restarts, because our restart times, as you said, are usually pretty short. So the boot times of our PBXs are really the best in the market. So, but even if it is so, we can do it even better. So here we say big is beautiful, because we are not doing only stuff for small businesses, even if we still are sometimes seen with our small silver boxes that we have products for small businesses. We have gained a lot of market share in the larger enterprise businesses. So we've won big accounts with 10,000s of users. And in these environments, of course, the database is larger, the boot times are getting higher, and we have other challenges than on smaller installations. And we have learned a lot, and we have improved a lot. So one thing what we have improved in Release 16 is that now the replication between PBXs and the networks are not done by replicating the whole database. We now are only replicating the changes in the databases, what is called the incremental replication, so that we only replicate changes, what of course reduces the data load on this kind of replication, what is optimizing the performance and the boot times in such a bigger network. So once you do an update, or you have a failure, or you want to move the hardware or from one data center to the other, so now the time you are using for that is much shorter. And we even were able to optimize the memory usage in our platform and the performance. So we are just using smaller memory pieces, so to put the data in, and using this new mechanism, we were able to reduce the memory usage by about 40%, what leads to, again, even faster boot times and backup and restore times by using this new functionalities. And last but not least, if we talk about large installations, also large conferences is always a topic. So we now have implemented a new way to handle conferences through different conference interfaces, so that you are not limited to one box or to one conference interface with your conferences, so that you can now extend your conferences limitless about all the conference interfaces you have in use. So that on one hand enables you to create larger conferences, more conferences at the same time, but it is also much easier simply to plan and to configure the conferences, because you don't have to define exactly on which platform, on which conference interface each conference is based on. So from that perspective, easier planning, smarter planning, easier configuration, no more limits. So conferencing is really on a next level with this release for enterprise businesses and larger use of our conferences.
Impressive stuff, Johannes.
So, and that is the next slide is more a very technical one, and it's hard for me to explain exactly what it is about, but I will try. So we also find a way with the next with a new release to run our platform without an hypervisor in virtual environment. So the buzzwords here are Dockers and containers, and what you can do now is that you can run the myApps platform, the myApps app platform, in a Docker environment as a container. So that was asked many times before. We have talked about it on our Connect Fair 2 years ago, and here's the delivery of it, so that we can now run the app platform in a Docker container. But it's not only that. So there's only also another big change. What we are introducing now with release 16 is that you also can run the innovaphone PBX on top of this app platform running in a Docker container. That means you will not longer need, or you will not need two different components separated. You can just run the innovaphone PBX as an application on top of the app, which is in a Docker container. So you run both the app platform and the PBX on one single Docker container. Again, we are talking about performance. We are talking about the safety of resources. We are talking about getting rid of an hypervisor. So also a benefit to optimize the use of our solution in your data center, in a cloud environment, and to make it more efficient and to have another operating model for our platform.
Yes, thank you, Johannes, for taking care of that slide and the next couple of ones. Highly appreciate it.
Another important thing is what we were facing is that if we bring up a new application with a licensing, or if a partner is putting a new application on our price list with an innovaphone licensing, it was not that easy for you to get in touch with this application very easily to get a test or to get a first impression of this application. And that's something we are going to change, so that it will be easier in the future for any administrator of an innovaphone system just to start a test period for every single application. So you can simply go in the administration of your system, start a test for a defined period of time, and you can simply start testing an application, no matter if it's an innovaphone application or if it's a partner application which is using our licensing and allowing the test mode. Then you will be able to get in touch, to test it, and so that's the best way to sell a product, is if you are convinced by testing it, by using it, and then simply send the order to our integrators and resellers.
And that's why we want to strongly encourage you to use these new test licenses, because it's never been easier to play around with the new apps, to see what it's all about, and therefore also then gain the expertise in the communication towards your customers. Absolutely.
So that was a slide I was always struggling with Tobias, if we should show it or not, because that's a lot of very, very technical stuff. And Tobias is a sales guy. I'm business development, which is also not technical. So I'm very careful to talk about that, because I'm not an expert on all this. But I know, and the feedback on our beta trials was that our partners, our integrators, are really, really happy about these improvements we have implemented. That's why it's very, very important that we mention it, because it's a big part of our development, that we not only do things for the end user and UI stuff, but we also do a lot of stuff under the hood, which is really important to make our system more secure, to make it better to set up our systems. So I just mentioned the ones we have. So in release 15, we have introduced the accessibility, so the screen reader support for myApps. Now we have extended this accessibility functionalities also to the phone app and the soft phone, so that you now can use it in conjunction with an with a screen reader, and then also maybe connected with a braille interface, so that also visibly impaired people can use our soft phone and phone app from now on. So then for the administrators, we have done some improvements on the devices app to make it more comfortable to work with. So we have description fields. You can search for these description fields. You get more information about the devices, for example, when it was logged on the last time. So like you can see if there are some devices which are not longer in use. We have implemented an open LDAP support for our directory replication, because we have been facing that many people are using an open LDAP directory anyways, and we want to enable it to use it also with our directories. We have implemented more modern authentication methods with OAuth 2 for email everywhere where we are using email functionalities like the two-factor authentication. We have implemented real-time text for emergency infrastructures, TLS ECDSA certificates. So I was taught to talk about future-proof cryptography in this case. So you know what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. And last but not least, we are now providing an MQTT broker, which is an interface which will be used in the future by devices or applications using this protocol for message exchange between devices or between components. So that's also a very modern messaging interface. We now have a component in our infrastructure. I hope you take a look at it. I hope I explained everything in the right way, but it's pretty important to mention that our development is also working on this kind of stuff, and not only on the shiny, super fancy user interfaces, but also the real important stuff on the infrastructure and in the background.
Absolutely. And even if we internally argued whether to show or not show this slide, that doesn't mean that I wanted to downplay the relevance of such new features. But for those who know me, I'm just a sales guy. Would have been, yeah. I have others. Okay, we still love phones. That brings us towards the end of our presentation. We want to, not quickly, but want to briefly introduce some new hardware devices with version 16. And let me welcome our IP17X product family to our portfolio. As you can see here on the screen in front of you, we have a bunch of different hardware devices that we have developed and manufactured for you. Some major functionalities and features and aspects of these devices include that they are DNV certified, that they do have a IP66 protection class certificate. They are able to do the push-to-talk feature and functionality for instant voice communication. And maybe some of you who are not familiar with such devices might think, okay, and now what? For us, it's really, really important, because we have seen that there are many vertical markets that are in urgent need specifically of such products. And me personally, I have experienced that in the last several months in my countries, especially, that there is a huge market for such devices. I've been talking to companies in the maritime industry. We have already installed such devices on big container ships, for example. Also in the public sector, for example, in prisons, in the energy sector, if we talk about offshore platforms, etc., call control or control rooms. There are really endless possibilities and very many different vertical markets that these devices can be implemented in. And next to these devices, we not only have manufactured that device or those devices, but also will be able to provide you with the necessary accessories, such as headphones such as headsets such as horns, etc. So everything you need in combination to operate these devices, you can get directly from innovaphone. Yes. One more thing. I'm just going to let that sink in a little bit, that picture, hoping for a positive reaction, even so I cannot immediately get any reaction or feedback because I can't see and hear you. Nevertheless, our new IP270. We have been working on it for quite some time to ensure that this is going to be a perfect, well-rounded, good functioning device. And maybe if you go to the next slide, Johannes, we can also have a closer look at some technical aspects and some more things that are important to know about this device. I really like what Johannes and myself came up with at the end of this slide at the bottom. Forget everything you know about phones, because this is not your typical phone anymore. It's much more and can also do much more. It's basically a hardware device where our whole myApps platform, including our UC&C world, is running on, including all the applications, whether it's our business applications, whether it's external applications. Everything can be run on that one device. And yeah, next to it, it also looks a little bit maybe like a phone because it still has a handset, but nevertheless, it can do so much more. And just to maybe make the story round again, because we started with Johannes talking about us being a European vendor, etc. It's also not based on Android, which might be important to know for some of you listening to us. Have a look at it. I think it should be available rather soon. Don't hesitate to send in the orders now already if you got excited about this new looking device. Yes, and to quickly summarize maybe some of the things we have been talking about the last, hopefully 60 minutes now, hopefully we stayed in time, is our promo. We have been talking about the new UC&C world of innovaphone and what comes along with it. More applications, smarter workflows powered by AI, scalable foundation for future innovation. And of course, we cannot get tired enough to repeat it because it really is so important to mention the Connect app as the core, as the base, the anchor of our communication world, where everything, or mainly most of it, what we have discussed today, is fully integrated into our platform. So please talk to your customers, introduce them to our latest developments, and in order to make it as attractive as possible for you and our customers to switch or to take the next step to UC&C, we have created certain promotions to make it not only price attractive, but also attractive in many other ways to switch now. For those of you who might have some questions about it, please contact your local sales rep who will be able to give you more details and information about how such promos look like and can work. And so, yeah, the time is now. Convince your customers to switch to UC&C. Finally, a last slide, and a very important one, and a very also personal one for us, because we want to invite you to our Connect Fair 2026 here at our innovaphone headquarters in Innovaphone in Sindelfingen on June 11th, 2026. For those of you who have not been a part of that in the past, I think this is our 3rd edition. We have been doing it now every other year, so every 2 years we're trying to create this highlight event. And I think I can confidently say that this is really, for us in the innovaphone community, the absolute highlight of the year, or of every 2 years. Just by listening to your feedback from 2 years ago, I think people were quite amazed and excited about such an event and encouraged us and motivated us to keep going and to do it again this year for you. To summarize it, what is it all about for those of you who have not been to our Connect 24? It's basically, yeah, if I say an in-house exhibition, it's so much more than just an in-house exhibition, but rather comparable maybe to one. We do have over 45 exhibitors. We are expecting over 1,000 people to come to our event. We will have new solutions presented by our partners and by us. We will have really cool keynote speakers present. We will have networking events. We will have workshops. And of course, we will have a great party at the end of the day with good food, drinks, and hopefully amazing conversations. So please have a look either at our website or register to the event by clicking on the link of one of the emails you have received, hopefully, from us. Get your ticket today. Book your hotels as early as possible, because I know we already have quite some good feedback and quite a lot of registrations. So don't wait too long. And since Johannes is the type of guy who wants to have the last word, and I can feel him being nervous. Shut up, Toby, now. For the last word, I'll give back to Johannes.
I just want you to shut up because we are just a little bit over time.
Okay.
But not too much. So from that perspective, Toby, as you have done the intro, I will do the outro. Thank you for attending this webinar. And if you are now really waiting for the new release coming out. So I've been talking about a price list in April, and we also said there is a promo that you can already start to order myApps UC&C. So I can promise you it will not take too long that you will be available, that you will be able to get in touch with the new release 16. So there is no concrete date yet, but it will be soon. So just stay tuned, wait for it. And we can't wait to have the first installations out and to get your feedback about the new release. I hope you will get in touch. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your time. And see you in June in Sindelfingen. Bye-bye.
Bye.